Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Can I ask that we all stand for the Montserrat Territorial song?
Come, friend of all, to you proclaim. Oh, Montserrat, dear motherland, your children raise your standard high in toil and tears to serve you well, a crowning jewel from God's hand. Oh, Montserrat, by nature blessed, to you your children sing. Come, well of all, come, friend of all, to you your people claim. We sing our
Thank you. And before you have a seat, we will start with a prayer which will be rendered by Chantel.
Heavenly Father, we just give you thanks and we give you praise, O God, for this wonderful day that you have made. Almighty God, as we are gathered here, O God, to sharing poetry, stories and the like, Lord, all this literature, Heavenly Father, about our beautiful island called Montserrat. Father God, I pray that you will be in the midst, that, Lord, we will receive something that will build up our spirits and strengthen our souls, oh God, and remind us that we are a beautiful people shaped in your image and in your likeness. So we thank you for everything that will be said and done here tonight. We pray that you will continue to bless the authors, give them the inspiration, Heavenly Father, to continue to pour out in written form. Father God, we pray for the host, that she will flow in this session tonight, oh God, that everything will be done decently and in order for your glory and honor. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated. And welcome to Marmie Sweet Montserratian Stew. And everybody know that when you're doing something Montserratian, you start with a prayer. So we've already put in the first ingredient in the stew. Tonight, we are here to celebrate the literature of Montserrat by two amazing authors, female authors from Montserrat, Anne-Marie Dior and Vanessa Lewis. Now, let me start by giving you a little knowledge, even though I'm sure most of you know them, but I'll tell you a little bit more. We'll start with Vanessa. Vanessa is a Birmingham-based writer who has always had a passion for sharing the stories of real people. Growing up in the beautiful Caribbean island of Montserrat, she was heavily influenced by the Bible, historical fiction, and West Indian culture, which can be seen in her funny and thoughtful representation of the places and times depicted in her book, Oswald Street. Vanessa's writing seeks to shine a light on the untold stories and resilient spirits of those who have faced adversity. Her hope is that through her work, she can bring understanding, empathy, and connection to readers from all walks of life. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of Montserrat, Montserratians, put your hands together for Vanessa. And our second author, Anne-Marie Dior. Anne-Marie Dior, OBE, MA in education, is an educator and a freelance training designer and facilitator. She has had a productive and successful career in education, lay advocacy, and public service, spanning more than 52 years. Now, I might ask for a recount on that because 52, no. Anyway, she has received a number of awards for her services to education, culture, and the public service. An accomplished musician, singer, choral director, stage manager, Creole poet, and costume maker. She has also been involved in the performing arts for over 50 years. Her Creole language poetry has appeared in a number of local, regional, and international publications. Her first published collection of poems is Wa Marmie Say, which is what we're going to look at and combine with other poems in our first segment, which is going to be all about poetry. Poetry written by Anne-Marie, Vanessa, and even myself. So, what do you say we do a poem, Anne-Marie? Thank you, sorry. Put your hands together. Put your hands together for Anne-Marie. And I think we have a poem that is going to be perfect.
Can you hear me okay? Here? Yeah? Okay. This poem is entitled, Which Time? Which Time?
You ever dress up and go to one function? We're supposed to start at 8. And when you make haste reach, you find that you got one whole hour for wait.
So you sit down, if seat there, or you turn up. Nothing go on, and you bex, you know. You dep on time, and a 1 hour or more before they could start the show.
Who fault you think that be, Mrs.? You and me, or the MC?
No, me dear. At them we set the time and not tell her we are empty. Me know you think me gone crazy. But before you knock me head off clean, me go say them again. Empty. Just hold on now. Let me show you what me mean. You see, never mind our small size, our ambitiousness is great. And in this little island, me find 2 kind of time I operate.
One time, I what them call the right time, according to BBC.
And the other time, a Montserrat time, what me I call empty. Now, them 2 kind of time not equal. Then different. Then can't join.
You know that our local clock, them always 1 hour behind?
This thing just to botheration. And it got me head confused. For when we function advertise, me have to guess which time them I use.
And I saw them love for juggle time and toss time up and down. And in all the confusion about time, you don't know whether you are go or you are come.
Let me give you one example. The radio me say one show for start at 3. And me dress up sweet, step out in a style, then find out a 3 empty. So next time, me tell Tanti, take your time, no rush, we early, you know. And we could reach Little Bay 8:30 for the 7:30 show. Then last week, me go a one function, we're supposed to start at 1. Me follow Montserrat time, and when me reach,
The sub nearly done.
and you know, it happens so much time that some people now get smart and them now left home till the live broadcast tell them the show start.
Me can't get this two-time business work out. You know, Mrs., this can contribute to progress. And I just want to lower the stupidness.
And not talk about the confusion, the botheration and upset that our tourists there must feel, and the bad name we could get.
A time for change this, once and for all. Time for lay down the law.
I mean, I want to know that lateness is what Montserrat famous for.
Well, me I beg the show promoter them, make sure how we no get confused.
Yeah, when you advertise a show from now on, please
Tell how we which time for use. And we will continue to add to the stew pot with some more poetry from Anne-Marie. And before you can do that, do you want to just tell them a little bit about what Marmie say?
Thank you very much. What Marmie say really has been born out of perhaps a crusade that I have been on for several years to get people to stop saying we talking bad and to recognize that if you can talk Montserrat language, whatever you want to call it, dialect, Creole, just as long as you don't call it broken English, because it's not broken anything. It is a language. It's got its own grammatical rules, etc. So I have been on a crusade to help, especially our children, but adults too, to recognize that the Montserrat Creole language is a real language. Let me give you just an example. How do we say in Montserratian, she is pretty? We will say, he pretty. We don't say, he is pretty or he are pretty. We say, he pretty. We take out that verb. That's not part of our grammatical structure. And there are so many other examples. Maybe later on I'll share another one with you. But I started writing Creole poetry, dialect poetry, when I was a schoolgirl. I was introduced to the works of Louise Bennett, a Jamaican poet, patois poet, that's what they call it in Jamaica, and Samuel Selvon, who is from Trinidad and who writes prose, not poetry, but writes in Creole or dialect. And I just found it so fascinating. And I wanted to write like how the people I heard around me were talking. Of course, I got my share of licks. One man actually came up to me during at the end of a function after I had done a couple of poems. And I've actually written a poem about that incident in the book. It's called Bilinguality. But he came up to me and said, "Miss, you are too educated to be talking and writing in dialect." And he had me well told. And you know, the audience was so enraptured by the poems that I had done. They were with me all the way. And so to get this kind of feedback was a bit jarring. But nevertheless, there were people like Sir Howard Fergus. I'm sure that many of you have known him, who kept saying to me, "You must have written enough poems now to publish a book." And indeed, I had by then. And so it was with encouragement from a lot of people that I published my first book of poetry, all in Montserrat language. Okay, I'm not going to call it dialect or anything like that. It's Montserrat language in Montserratian. Okay, I think I left my what Marmie say. Okay. This poem is actually, the title of the book is based on this poem. Let me put it that way. What Marmie say. Uncle Joe, I'm feeling so upset. I'm really, really mad, you see. Because I can't understand how my friend and them just wash them out for me. You don't know how bad me want to go cuss them off today. But me tie me tongue and remember all the things me mommy say.
Me got one plaster for every sore. Me can't forget them words at all. Picnic no hear what mommy say. Drink pepper water, lime and salt.
Me glad me listen. Them now broke me back. But they better mind their own. Mommy always say, who
live in a glass house shouldn't throw
no
stone.
So, me now mix up with them, and me now follow them go about. Because mommy tell me, play with Poppy.
And Poppy lick your mouth.
Me live for proof she right. So, me no keep them company. It tired tell me, if you lay down with dog,
You are going to turn up with fleas.
in front me face, them call me sweetie pie and sugar kush.
Well, me nah answer them. Me know what me know. Them nah take me bang no bush. And me nah trust them when them come throw sweet word upon me. Mommy want me. When them tell you, look a mountain.
Look I see. Yes. But what they say behind me back just make me hot like fire. For you could always hide from thief.
But you can't hide from liar.
And all what them a do me. You watch, them a go get back some. Mommy tell me every barahag.
That is Saturday night a come.
Them better not skylark with me. For easy dog bite hard. And if they think me soft, let them come play ball in me yard.
Then we see.
When he come for box and thump, then think that me no got 'em. But make them know that
Only when wind blow, you see foul bottom.
So me a keep me peace for now.
Mommy say, just cut your eye, fool talk. But wise man listen.
And shut mouth.
No catch, no fly. You're doing the rest.
Oh, another chance. Okay. All right, thank you. I'm going to do one now, which, well, I'll let you work it out, but it's a mother giving some very strong advice to her daughter who is not particularly handsome. Susie, it's called Another Chance. Susie, I beg you, go apologize to Tom. Tell you sorry for turning away. Holy hand and beg your pardon. Go look for you right now, today. Never mind, Tom is not the sharpest knife in the beauty drawer. He got one job with importance, and he got money in a poor. Me no understand how you reject it, how you turn it down so flat. Not even like a courting girl. You push it away, just like that. What trippiness you say about you don't love Tom? You make me shame. If you not get no married, me dear, are only yourself for blame. You know hear Sparrow warning, the man where you love, no married to he. And the man will love you. I go treat you nice. Look, I beg you, listen to me. You see, man like Tom, they mustn't go to waste in this land of scarcity. Any man want married, grab them fast. It's hard for find man like he. Plenty good-looking man out there, but no responsibility. And you play hard for get with Tom. Girl, stop your stupidity. Please for go and find him, wheresoever he be. Call his sweetheart and hug it tight. Tell you got something for discuss with you. And please for pass by you tonight. Fix up one nice plate of food, Gee. Yes, me know your cooking no great. But show him one pinch of love and tell you the effort was worth the wait. Girl, make haste. Go tell you sorry. Beg you pardon your ignorance. Tell your brains get away. And beg you please forgive one other chance. Oh, yeah. Now, this poem was actually written in England. Some of these poems were written during my sojourn in England. I lived here for about 11 years in London. And this one is simply called Letter from England, written to a friend of mine at home. Me dearest Jane, excuse me style, but me heart full up, me dear. Me no need for homesick at all, you girl, because Montserrat right here. I'm meeting up with Mas Johnny and Nene and brother Clive from Kinsale. Me no even know that man they still alive. Anywhere me turn a London girl, Montserratian no me sight. Leighton, Hackney, Stoke Newington, Montserratian left and right. And they tell me that no nothing. Me no even start to roam. Just go to Birmingham and me would have feel nobody tall left home. How will me be when all this moving out was going on? It's either we wasn't keeping count or it's long time they gone. But little by little, slow but sure, they didn't make them planning sound. And before we could ball out, take me with you, each of them was England bound. Some of them really get on good. Them didn't build no house pan sand. Them learn trade, work hard, and make good money in the motherland. Some no have life so good. True. Some live in pan the dole. But in a guava time, pay without work, keep blessing in the soul. So far, things not too bad with me. May I register for my courses. May I try to adjust to this new life and checking out job sources. Me can't complain. Me home life good. The people treat me nice. And since them a Montserratian, I still get me dumpling, dasheen, and rice. So up to now, me I do okay. Me done meet up my cousin Merle. And he carry me places and tell me all about life in the big wide world. But girl, the winter coming. And me too afraid for cold and frostbite pain. Please pray for me. But most of all, pray no snow get in my brain. Thank you, thank you. Now, you have just had a very interesting time here in Britain. And we're about to have a very interesting time in Montserrat towards the end of the year. I think you can imagine what I'm talking about. And this poem was written just a few years ago when we started getting color crazy over politics. You know, most places have the red and the blue and so on. And Montserrat really wasn't in that before. And all of a sudden, we seem to have started to go a bit color crazy. Bobo, run go call Miss Beth and tell Sammy left the boat. Tell them turn on the radio. Election officer, I show how for vote. Nobody look for shoes, boy. Run. They have to hear this thing. The two of them got such a quarrel last night. Me poor ears still a ring. Last night, me passed by my friend Miss Bet. All week, it may feel real low. So me go spend the time with he. Make it chat and laugh, you know. Well, when me reach Miss Bet house, the front door me open wide. And Mass Bobo, Tanti Sis, and couple other people sit down inside. Bet say, come in, come in. So me sit down. And then me got some good discussion. Them laugh about Calypso, quarrel about Ferry, and argue about politician. Well, in all the plenty laugh and chat, this young boy, Sammy, reach. You know Sammy? Miss Bet nephew, the one we just start to teach. Sammy walk right in, hear the talking, and without please or excuse, jump in at the conversation, raise the voice, and loudly state his views. Nobody asked Sammy no question now, but he got opinion on everything. From one name to call the new hospital, to who Calypsonian, he say can't sing. Well, who tell Mass Bobo for talk politics? Them start discuss the election. Sammy jump up, say they talking foolishness, all of them wrong and need correction. Well, and now people talk. What they see, what they hear, from Facebook to local news. Vote all 9, vote red, vote yellow. Oh, me head me so confused. Sam say, what are you? A color your vote? Yellow, green, and red? You think a color run the country? Something must be wrong with your head. And the more they hushy, the more Sam shout and a pushy point of view. You could see Miss Bet me shame for the behavior of his own nephew. Sam say how he tired of teaching. And next time, he'll vote with strategy. He'll listen to all who running and then choose who could do the most for you. Sam say, as soon as he hear election call, he no take no chance with this. He go election office for check, make sure that he name on the voting list. Sam say this voting thing important. A candidate mustn't lose. And he can't wait for put one circle around the people name where he choose. Miss Bet say, circle? Boy, me never know that you was such a goat. Me can't believe I me raise you and you don't know how to vote. Bet take the back of your water bill, grab one pen, say yes, show it, chop it, Dunsbury and nephew Sam how proper voting go. Miss Bet hold the pen and take it time and make one double X. Me nearly bust out laugh, but me afraid forget the Bex. Bet tell Sammy, I no circle, but a X he must put in, and how he must put one X cross the name of the people he want to win. Well, Sammy jump up, and he tell Miss Bet, I no so voting go. For that mean, he would have X out them name, and so them name wouldn't show. Sam say, if the people them name X out, them cross out, them throw away. And if you listen to Bet, a candidate they might lose by voting day. Bet stoops and tell me for tell Sam, I know yesterday born. And a long time he cast vote, so he know how voting go on. Sam shout, me vote in the last election. And when me get me ballot sheet, me look for me candidates, circle them name, and me candidates win their seat. Well, and now Bet temper raise for true. He calls Sam all kind of fool. I will try for pacify, but the temper wouldn't cool. Some of the people then laugh. Miss Bet bawl out, you're too dotish, listen to me. But you know how Sammy headstrong, and he not take no advice from she. Sam go long out the house, blam the door, say he nah tap they take more heckle. Bet pressure raise, and the last me hear then quarrel still no settle. But look here election supervisor chat on the radio. Me glad them finally time for tell we how proper voting go. Miss Bet me right. No circle at all. I go count on election day. A strictly X, 2 line must cross. So the supervisor say, oh, but bet wrong too. Because the X them can't go any place. He must fit na the back side the candidate name, else the ballot go waste. Well, sir, hear this. So a load of foolishness them to go on with last night. 2 grumptious people, wrong and strong, nearly end up in one fight. But watch them a come. Bet still a throw word. Say Sam chup it like Master John Goat. Between now and polling day, I hope them learn the proper way for vote. I'm going to invite Vanessa to do a poem with me. The short answer is no. But if I get the opportunity, I will try to perform it at some point.
Just before we start, Anne-Marie warned me last night, no British accent. I know having a British accent, and Montserrat me come from.
Okay, you have to speak loud. This poem is called Flying Almost Free. Last time me go a Montserrat, me had was to bury skirt and slip. Me shame for bury people clothes, you know. But the small plane no bring me grip.
Our whole set of people, me and a Montserrat, with just them 2 long hand. And I want good thing, Tanti Minga extra nighty and drawers for lend me too.
They said the twin at a plane can't carry load pan a piece of strip. So then got enough baggage restriction now. No more heavy pack up grip.
Well, missy, not more becks and qual. Sorry. And sorry, let's start again. Me and this Montserrat accent. Let's go again. Well, missus, not more becks and qual. And me nah go back again. When people reach a Montserrat and find out that them luggage no reach with them.
They say if I will want big luggage, fully we travel on the ferry.
Yes, sir. Then we could bring how much bag and baggage I want. Easy so, without no worry.
They say them plane, yeah, no cargo plane. Them only make for take light trip, like businessmen and tourist people without oversized heavy grip.
Well, you know, when we travel, a plenty clothes, food, and bush and all.
And so much load and wadgy, and we might make the poor plane fall.
So, me learn me lesson, and nowadays, me make sure me travel light. Me shop till me drop, and ship me things home in a barrel, me see.
That's right. Me nah get catch again without underwear. No, sir, that nah happen to me. Wherever me go, our small bag, me flying almost baggage free.
Follow me advice. Then we travel easy without fret, when fret and vex won't spoil your trip.
And are you will left?
Same time and reach
same time
with a your grip.
Thank you. This is you now.
Well, I guess I struggle with the Montserrat accent at times. I have been doing this English thing for maybe too long, teaching it in literature and language, so at times I do struggle. This one is called A Song of Oswald Street. The morning dawned bright and clear. In the eastern sky, the sun appeared, glistening majestically for just a fleeting moment. Silence reigned supreme as she reached the shore. His ship had gone. The seas on which it once rocked lay empty, beyond lush green hills, on the battered waves of a relationship gone wrong. Gone wrong? Such a meaningless term. Yet, it's not wrong. They steered this ship into the shallows. Them people over there. Stop it. The sun rose in splendor and glistened in the bay. The night had gone. Night, dark, reckless, fierce and cold. It was on the windy hill, you see, in the corner of Oswald Street. What did you expect? You knew it would flounder when the fog rose and the winds blew, and the stormy winds battered at your heart. Your scream went with the wind, silencing the fierceness of unspoken words, of truths not told, of prayers left unsaid. You raged, then tossed like a petal in the wind. Words bulged beneath the surface, sending shockwaves in all directions, like the collapse of a lava dome. It was right here, in the shallows on the windy hill, in the heart of Oswald Street, battered, bruised, alone, threshing in the broken coils of a relationship gone wrong, just there, near the reefs. There must be a sheltered cove. Here, not the reefs. God, Savior, friend, something, someone, tumults, yes, and waves, yes, waves. At times they were gentle too. Memories rode like strafing rainbows in the sky, rolling in the hot, sweet nights where passion reigned king, where hope rang with sweet promise. It was on the windy hill, you know, right here, there on Oswald Street. The cistern heard it, the tower sheltered it, the hillside roared in defense. It stopped, it cooled, it lay covered in the silence of vain regret. It was under Windy Hill, you know, right here on Oswald Street, doubled over, burdened, defeated. She bent her shoulders to her knees. She bowed beneath the rumblings of Riley's mountain as the sun galloped west. Was it too late? Was it too late? The tears no longer came. She laughed in defiance as she picked the book up, hands steady, eyes, ears, early in the morning, late in the night. Alone? No. God, Father, Savior, He was there. You were there, in the silence, in the pain, and in the rain. Is that you? You, Shirley, my sister, my bold, strong, gentle companion in this my ashes and my guilt? I listened, I wept, we prayed, we laughed. The sun rose in splendor. A new day had begun. Can we sing? Of course. You're up to singing?
Let's just practice this little one. I was trying to get Keith Lee to accompany me, but he chickened out. The words are simply, bring ye come now and calabash o. Bring ye come now and calabash o. Bring ye come now and calabash o. Can you say that with me? Bring ye come now and calabash o. Bring ye come now and calabash o. And then, so you do that once, and then you do, bring the calabash come. Okay? So, I will start off with da 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 da. Bring ye come now and calabash oh. Da 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 da. Bring the calabash come. Okay? So let's try it again. Da 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 da. Bring ye come now and calabash oh. Da 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 da. Bring the calabash come. Okay? And towards the last two verses, all we will do is bring the calabash come. So I will do now I'm just recovering from a cold, so I don't know how much voice I have. I think I'm rather brave to even be attempting this. This song is called Montserrat Menu. And what I found is that even though people have left Montserrat and gone to other places, they still use the Montserrat menu. We just can't get away from the Montserrat menu. So here we go. Don't forget, bring ye come now on calabash. Merle, you know it. So we'll go. Merle will be your leader. Okay. Sunday lunch a roast chicken and rice. Bring ye come now on calabash. Oh, Monday leftovers taste so nice. Bring the calabash come. Tuesday give me fish no meat. Bring ye come now on calabash. Wednesday turkey next you down sweet. Bring the calabash come. Thursday saltfish and dumplings, sir. Bring ye come now on calabash. Oh, Friday get you sweet goat water. Bring the calabash come. Saturday heat up the cold them hot. Bring ye come now on calabash. Oh, and boil the soup now the big soup pot. Bring the calabash come. Bring you calabash Sunday, Monday. Bring the calabash come. Bring you calabash Tuesday, Wednesday. Bring you calabash come. Bring you calabash Thursday, Friday. Bring you calabash come. And all the Saturday till sun go down. Bring you calabash come. Okay, so it's just an example that of how some songs can actually be, how some poems can actually be turned into songs. And, you know, if somebody wants to take poems and of mine and turn them into a song, I have no objection. Might be good if you just, you know, just say, I'm making a song out of this. Okay, so if I hear it on the radio and it's number one, I can boast, you know, okay? All right. Now I'm doing a little swap here. I'm doing a little swap, and I think a lot of us have this experience when we go home. Let me just. So this is a conversation with a woman in Montserrat who sees someone. I will probably pick on John. But just imagine that John has come back to Montserrat for a holiday. And actually, I think the name of the person is John, you know. But not this one here. The person has come back to Montserrat for a holiday, okay? So just imagine I'm having this conversation with the person. Oh no, his name is Charlie. Yeah. I look upon me walk here. Father, bless me eyesight do. Charlie boy, a loading donkey ears me no catch sight to you. Where you may be now? England, what you do up there? You get your degree? You got big job? Oh boy, what you say? Just today you reach a Montserrat? Well, me feel real good for see that a whole day never pass before you come look for me. You not send no barrel for your mother this time? Oh, you not tell me nothing at all. It is always shadily wadgy. Well, tomorrow, maybe give you one call. What a sweet boy. You got good mind. I saw your mother always say. So you come spend the time with her we and see how your mother there. But boy, you get so tall, eh? You look good, it's a shame. If me know me remember your broke teeth, me could have never call your name. Come in, boy, come in. Just me and my grandchild here, come. So tell me how you do. You still married to that girl from South? That's good, boy. Me proud of you. Come sit down. You see me still here struggle. Right here in the same old place. Things hard, yeah, boy. Same old story. Poverty and one real disgrace. You want one drink? Take Lissarel or ginger beer before you go. Or you see Hennessy. That you want? Okay. One a glass, this or so. Let me sit down though. Hold them, turn up and my foot then sore. And them old shoe. One throw away now. What you got for the poor? Me could hardly hear what you are saying. You little girl, lessen the TV noise. Lord, them sure bun. You know me and your mother got the same foot size. So yes, boy, you look so prosperous. No joke, poverty and crime. You see how we poor people live this hand-to-mouth way all the time. Life, boy. What you say? You have to go now? What make you go so fast? Or really by nenen you may go? You mistake the house. You get lost. But tap your little longer now. Nenen house no far for walk. You just come, boy, sit down. Me and you no even start for talk. Okay, well, after you have to go take care, walk good, a nice full moon. No forget where me live. And make years pass back, come see me soon. But just see me dying crosses. Look how that mean low down boy tan. Drink off me Hennessy and come here with Jussie two long hand.
Summer was like that. The sun beat mercilessly down on the parched earth. Everything sweltered in the bracing heat. Across the yard, the spinach wilted, and the banibis hung limply on the shrinking limbs of the naked trees. The Jack Spaniards sought shelter on the rusting eaves of the galvanized, flitting angrily across the yard in search of tiny droplets. They too were thirsty. The heat has left all in limbo. Early in the morning, they had trekked to Killiecrankie, or wherever it was possible, to secure enough for the morning ablutions, to wash the dishes, to prepare the morning's breakfast, and perhaps even to cook the midday meal. But the report spoke of the meanness of the expat, aged, backbent, wheezing, stringy hairs springing through his ears, watery, weak eyes, scowling with annoyance. No water here today. He sits on the porch, clinging to the shreds of an era gone wrong. No one speaks. Good morning, Mr. Gomez. Rising anger, threatening looks, and a few choice words. Some turned away. Back to the empty government taps. Nothing can suck the meager flow to fill an empty bucket. How could he be so mean? The lady of the manor, skin mottled with liver spots, stared tiredly through the window. She shook her head. Go to the back. She waved them on. Buckets, cans, bottles. The life-giving liquid, cool, cold, flows into the waiting canisters. Who does he think he is? This has come from Monkey Spring. Go home, you go dead and left from there.
And before we come to the end of the poetry section, I'm going to share one of my poems with you. This one is called Good Morning. Now, I am sure plenty of us here today have had this experience. You come from Montserrat with your nice manners, and you're walking on the street. Good morning, and they're looking at you like you're crazy. So this is how this poem came about. It's just good morning. But look how you stare upon me like you think me is Tyler Perry, mad black woman that's crazy. Me give you me nicest Colgate smile, and you just stare upon me like fish with a poil. You need to understand that where me come from, everybody say good morning, because that is the standard custom. And whether or not we know your name, we smiling and greeting you just the same. And now, me live in this cold, grey country, where most of the people no realize it no cost nothing to be friendly, but all your sourdough face and all your cut eye never stop me from say morning or just hi. Me hope one day you will come for understand and manage for reply, even crack one smile and wave your hand when you realize that a warm greeting is all the mad black woman giving. It's just good morning. And to close the poetry section off, Anne-Marie and I are going to share another poem.
The title of this poem is In the Evening. And it just takes me back to a Montserrat of long ago, when evenings were just calm, relaxing times. You remember the old-time sunset when sweet evening breeze a blow? Though you weary from your labor, yet your spirit high for so?
In the evening, when the work time done and the moon take over from the blazing sun.
Children playing till the sunset, sweetheart gone pa moonlight walk. You ease down a nenen backyard just for sit down and old talk.
About work and politics and village chat.
About he and she, about this and that.
In the evening, when the work time done and the moon take over from the blazing sun. Children gather na the backyard. Nah sleep, them wide awake. Nenen tell Nancy story, Jumbie tale. The poor children frightened, some a shake. Them now walk a dark for go home now. Then see Jumbie na every goat and cow. In the evening, when the work time done, and the moon take over from the blazing sun.
The young boy them out a street a roll with noisy cat na the evening time, racing the iron wheel and them with a stick hold firm for keep them line, till one by one they hear the call.
Oh, John!
James boy!
Oh, Sammy, come!
In the evening, when the work time done, and the moon take over from the blazing sun.
So the stew is now bubbling. The sweet Montserratian stew is now bubbling, filled with poetry. And at this point, we give you a short intermission of 15 minutes. Now ask which time. Please do not ask which time. 15 minutes, and we come back to get the additional ingredients of stories. There is some refreshments that is being served from over there. Yep. So please help yourself and make it back to your seat in 15 minutes. Thank you. Okay, it's not a question of which time, but it's just a question of when. So, we're going to give you just a very, very short intermission because the refreshments are actually being made extra special for the end. So, at the moment, if you want to have a comfort break, go to the bathroom and come right back. We will start in 10 minutes. Okay, so me cut down pan the 15 minutes, 10 minutes this time. Okay, 10 minutes. I was strict with time. I think I gave you an extra minute or two. So I'm very generous today, but we're ready to start. So can everybody please take their seats, because the stew pot is ready to be served. Oh dear, you see that? Oi, as when you start to talk about food, somebody have to be hungry. What can I say? Anyway, I thank you all for coming and staying. And now, as the pot gets more and more, we've put in the ingredients with all the poetry. Now, there are 2 books, and I have to say, I am really, really honored to be sitting here this evening with these 2 ladies who have just recently published and released 2 amazing books. Oswald Street by Vanessa Lewis, God's Plans Were Better by Anne-Marie Jo. They're similar because they're personal stories, but they're very different. They're very, very different, and that's what we're going to delve into now. So before I start to pick their brains and invite you, the audience, to pick their brains also, let me ask the authors to introduce their books. Vanessa, would you do us the honor of introducing Oswald Street to the audience?
Oswald Street is a book that is born out of a number of experiences. I grew up in a very beautiful village in the eastern end of the island. I loved where I lived, and even though sometimes there were some very odd sayings about it, it is one of the most beautiful villages in the entire island of Montserrat. And yay. All right. So I wrote this. When I wrote Oswald Street, it took me years to write Oswald Street. I started writing it back before I even retired. And I just couldn't, at times, continue to write. I would put it down. Because there were so many things that were going on in my mind about it. I love the landscape, and Oswald Street is about the landscape. Oswald Street is about the women who grew up who were the mothers, the caregivers in this landscape. It's about the fathers who struggled sometimes to find their way, but yet still they provided as much support as they could. It is a book that you must read in order to understand where I'm coming from. It's really interesting because sometimes we think it's about our hereditary, it's all that we inherit, but the environment plays such a great part. And it's only when I was writing Oswald Street that I understood the extent to which the environment influences who you are, what you become, and where you go. So that is about as brief I'm going to make it in Oswald Street, because I want you to read it so that you will find out for yourself, and then you can always tell me exactly what you think of Oswald Street. But before I close, one more thing. I just want somebody here to tell me, where do you think Oswald Street was? Now, there are some people who cannot answer this question. And that entire corner there happens to be my family. It's just my family there, so they can't answer the question. And Andre, you can't answer as well. And I'm not sure I'm going to allow you to answer DeLacy. However, I want the Montserratians who are here, Charles don't answer either. I want the Montserratians who are here to tell me, where do you think Oswald Street was? And where exactly in Stratham? No, it wasn't by the tap. I think I love that answer. I think I love that answer really, really well. So for that, you're going to get a free copy of Oswald Street.
Well done, well done. I like that. And I have to say, I know everybody's biased about where they come from in Montserrat. I'm Town Hill, over the bridge and everything, But Harris is in my blood. It's in my DNA. It's in my bones. My mother, my grandmother, all of my grandmother's children were born in Harris's. I was christened in St. George's Anglican Church, and I have fond memories of driving past and sometimes popping into Stratham's. So everything, literally, I think from Lee's right up to Harris's, has fond memories for me. So I could understand why you feel it is the best place. I could well understand.
I know.
Now, Anne-Marie, introduce God's Plans Were Better.
Thank you very much, Merle. And before I do that, I would like to say that I have read Oswald Street, and it is an amazing, fascinating book. So please do get a copy. And Vanessa did not pay me for that, okay? What is God's Plans Were Better about? God's Plans Were Better is really a book in which I look at so many events in my life which I cannot explain, other than to say that God had put things in place. Some of them before I was born, and some of them as I grew, went along in life. And I had my plans, you know. As a young girl, I wanted to get married and have children. That was basically what I wanted to do. And God's plans were better. There were, you know, lots of things that I wasn't able to fulfill, but I was able to fulfill other things. So it's really a book which I hope will inspire confidence that even when things look bleak, and I don't mean that everything has been perfect, it hasn't been. But the big thing is that when God brings you through something, you now have the confidence that he can do it again and again and again and again. And so out of that, before I knew it, I had a book.
Okay, thank you, Anne-Marie. You make it sound so simple. You know, out of that, I had a book. But I don't think it's as simple as that. So I'm going to pose a question to both authors. And it's about the inspiration that made you decide this book must be written, and not only written, but shared with the world. Because so many of us, I think we have some authors here in the audience who might have things sitting on their shelves, in cupboards, in drawers, and that sort of thing. So writing is part of it, but being courageous to share it with the world is another thing. So what inspired both of you to want to write and share your stories with the world? Vanessa.
I have always enjoyed writing. And I think there were times whenever something touched me, or even when things were difficult, the best way for me to cope was to write. So I have lots of diaries here and there with lots of things in it. But when it came to writing Oswald Street, that was something that was quite different. It was a friend of mine who said to me, you have so many experiences, I think it would be useful to write it because it might be of help to someone else. But I thought that it would be too much. I thought if I put myself out there like that, I am opening myself in a way that I wasn't comfortable with. I am a very, very private person. Anybody who knows me would know that I'm a very private person. And so I decided, after coaxing again and again and again, I started writing. And as I was writing, I realized it was helping me. And because I saw how much it helped, I continued to write. And then, when it came to sending it off to the editor, that was another challenge, to send it off to an editor, to let somebody else look at it and somebody else say what they think about it and so on. But eventually, I was able to send it off, and I was so excited when she said, I'm sending you your book. I was just so excited. So Oswald Street came out of an attempt to find what I would call catharsis.
Okay, thank you. Anne-Marie?
Well, about 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago, I became extremely ill. And I needed a neurosurgeon. I needed brain surgery. Montserrat has no neurosurgeons. Antigua has no neurosurgeons. In fact, they were able to find neurosurgeons much further down the Caribbean, but none close by. And I became ill with something which could have killed me. When I first noticed the symptoms, and I was admitted to hospital, we all knew that it was something serious. I had Googled my symptoms, and I realized that I was in trouble. And I was admitted to hospital. This thing started happening on the Monday. On the Tuesday, I was admitted to hospital, and I saw the surgeon, the general surgeon who is in charge of the patients on the ward. He came to see me on his rounds on the Wednesday morning. So I had just been there overnight. And he said to me, we have a team of neurosurgeons visiting from the United States, from Harvard, Massachusetts General Hospital, one of the top hospitals in the world, the leading neurosurgery, one of the leading neurosurgery programs. They are coming to visit Montserrat, and they're coming this weekend, and we're going to ask them to see you. One of my doctors, some of you would know Dr. Sonia Mead, she sent me a message and she said, Anne-Marie, this is nothing short of a miracle. And to cut a long story short, when I had the surgery, I had to travel for the surgery. Montserrat could not, it could not be done there. But when I came back and I had recovered sufficiently to go to church, Sir Howard Fergus was in church. And I was asked to give my testimony, and briefly I shared what had happened. And he said to me after church, you must write your story. And he was very pointed. He said, you must write your story. So I actually started off just writing about this particular incident and what happened. And then I started thinking about other incidents which, you know, had occurred in my life, which were strange, which suggested something out of the ordinary, that God definitely was at work. And as I said before I knew it, I had a book.
Well. Real inspiration. I mean, while I soak those answers in, does anybody have a question from the audience? Yes, she's ready. Oh my, okay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm really enjoying this moment. I'm really excited by it. And many congratulations to you both. To God be the glory for all that He has done, for giving you the gifts, the talents, the abilities to share these treasures with us. Thank you so much. So my question is to Vanessa about Oswald Street. What would you say are the major themes of Oswald Street, and what inspired those themes?
Every time I hear a question asked about themes, I go back to English literature. And I think sometimes people write books just for the sake of writing it, but we analyze it to death. But the major themes in Oswald Street, there are quite a few of them. I think one of the main ones is about growing up, because whatever happened to you as you grew up, that influenced what happened to you after. Another really powerful theme, I think it is the role of women. That's what came out as well. Another really interesting one is the impact of poverty. That's another one that shows how poverty can stop you, it can help you. And there's that really interesting when I think about education and the power of education. And overall, I think the power of community, of family, and most of all, about forgiveness and reconciliation.
Those are some wonderful themes, really wonderful themes. Another reason why you need to read Oswald Street. Does anybody else have any other questions?
We've got Andrea here who'd like to ask a question.
Oh, go right ahead, my dear.
It's for Miss Jewel. Good evening, everyone. Do you have a favorite chapter in God's plan were better? And also, which was the most difficult to write?
Wow.
Well, I have so many favorite ones, and believe it or not, I still read the book because, you know, it just builds me up so much. Not that I've written a book, but that God has been so good to me, and sometimes it's just unbelievable, you know. I think probably my top favorite is the one where I speak, I didn't choose education. Most people have known I've had a career in education for most of my life, and I think I've been quite successful. Any of my former students here?
I will come to that answer.
So yes, because I don't really want to give away the book, or give away what's in the book, but I had no intention at all. Teaching was not on my radar at all. I wanted to do something completely different, and that door was literally slammed shut on me when I realized that I just couldn't pursue it. I didn't have, you know, the means, etc., to do the studies necessary. And just out of the blue, an opening, an opportunity came. Purely, some people would say by chance, except that I don't believe that. I believe it was God put it there. And so in the book, I speak about the wonderful time I have had in education and how God has just blessed me. I think the most difficult chapter was the one where I talk about some of the disappointments. It's disappointments, detours, and death. In particular, the segment where I speak about the death of my sister. Beverly and I were extremely close. She always used to say to people, "This is my wonderful sister." I mean, I can still hear her, you know, my wonderful sister. She was such an angel. And her death was probably the hardest thing that I have ever had to deal with.
That is a tough question, and to be fair, the one that you said is the most challenging. That chapter, I can see why it was. Coming back to education, right? You asked about students. Funny, I was never taught by this brilliant lady, but I thought she was brilliant. I was in secondary school at the time. But somehow, every time she needed a prefect, she would find me. I do not know how and why, but God's plans were definitely better when he brought you into education, Miss Jo. Mm-hmm. Definitely, because even though you never taught me in school, you had such an impact on me that from then until now, I have always called you my Shiro. Is there anybody else in the audience who would like to ask a question?
Yes, we've got a question from Estelle over here.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Happy to read this question. It's for Vanessa. In Oswald Street, you described the village and the landscape in stunningly vivid detail. How did you remember all this detail?
Wow.
That's a really interesting question, because I think, you know, when a landscape becomes a part of your psyche, when you see it every day, when at first you may even resent it, and then after a while you learn to love it and appreciate it. And when it scares you at times, because there were times when I used to be very, very afraid when I was small. I used to be afraid of everything. And and sometimes when I had to do these really interesting journeys and so on, I would get really scared. However, you learned after a while that this landscape is not there to hurt you. The landscape soothes you. The landscape allows you to expand, to develop. The landscape allows you to understand the beauty of God and nature and all of those things. And so I love the entire landscape. Stratham was is a beautiful valley, and I just loved it so much. I can't forget it. It is there constantly. I wake up, it's there. It's not there anymore, and I went to Montserrat and I cried when I couldn't see it because I missed it so much.
I want to ask a question now, because you describe a place in the book called Barefoot Disco. And you say at one time a den of vice avoided by the godly persons in the village, and yet when required it became, to use the words of a popular hymn, a shelter in the time of storm. Now you have me intrigued. Was this a real place?
It was.
And how significant a landmark was this place in Stratham's?
It was a real place. Barefoot Disco was a real place. I mean, if people were on, Charles, the people coming from out north, people coming from out south, people coming from the east, and they came to Barefoot Disco. And I think the really powerful thing about Barefoot Disco was the band that was playing in Barefoot Disco. And if anybody can remember the name of that band, you get a book. No, not you, Catherine. But Barefoot Disco became, it was such a special place because when you came to the entrance of the village, it's almost as if you could put a gate on the village. And when you came into the village, as soon as you turned into village, there was Barefoot Disco on your right. And is it on my right? Sometimes it's on my left. Oh my, I get mixed up. I don't know my left from my right sometimes. So it was on your left as you came in. And I think what was so interesting about it, it wasn't any particular building that would stand for a very long time. It was a building that was temporary, and it represented so much about who the people were and where they were coming from. It made no distinction. My question would be, who are these godly people? Because you have to read the book so you could work out who could these godly people be. Because when you look at the entire array of characters in the village, were they really godly? Read the book.
Well, thank you so much for clearing up something for me, because I too wanted to go to this Barefoot Disco, especially on a Friday night. I used to go to a club called Trojans. But you know when they say it takes a village to raise a child, it's that's no joke. After Trojans, Mel, you're too young, you need to go home. And where you all going? Barefoot Disco. And at one time, I really thought, this place does not exist, and to lie. So thank you, Vanessa. You have cleared up something for me. Barefoot Disco was real, and obviously I missed out.
You did.
Obviously I missed out. Are there any more questions from the audience?
Yes, we have a question from Donnell.
Good evening, everyone. This is for Miss Jo. Did you have any fears or concerns in writing God Plans Were Better, or any sections of it?
Yes, thank you for that question. Sure, I did. In the book, I had to bear myself quite a bit. I had to be vulnerable. I had to, in order to really convey the depth of what God had done for me, I had to sort of put away any pride and anything like that, and I had to tell it like it is. I had to be pretty real. And one of the things that I worried about was whether people would read the book and come away with a very different impression about me, because I wasn't always a nice, lovely girl. In fact, my grandmother threw me out when I was about 12 years old. But the thing is that where you are isn't where you have to stay. This book is not really about preaching a sermon at all. It's just telling the story. And it really shows that, God has a plan for your life. And if you submit to God's plan, and if you try your best to do the things that you should do, use the opportunities, etc., that your life can be turned around and things can change. So I'm hoping that the impressions will still be good ones.
I don't think anything you can say here tonight will change the majority of people's impressions about you. Those of us who knew you before, and anybody who is meeting you for the first time, they're going to go away with a good impression still. Because, as I said, and I'm not going to date myself, but when I was in secondary school, I became so enthralled with this lady that after that, she could ask me to do anything up to today. Up to today. As soon as she says, Merle, yes, ma'am, what you need? What, when, why, how? But, nothing can change it. It makes you human, and you have been able to share that story. Now, I know time is going, and the most important thing is that people who would like to buy books can get them signed and that sort of thing. There's room for one more question from the audience. Is there anybody with a question?
Yes, we have Hope who has a question.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My question is to Vanessa. What were some of the challenges in writing Oswald Street and remaining on the central message and theme?
At times it was really, really difficult to write. I think I started writing, I would say I can possibly divide it into two sections. And in the first section, I just wrote, and I just wrote. But I kept revising the second half. I kept revising it again and again, because I did not want to come over as unjust or bitter or angry. I wanted to come over as something that is really realistic and something that is warming and something that gives you that hope for restoration and that possibility that no matter how difficult things are, God can work with you to restore, to rebuild, and He can teach you so many things as you work with it. So I found it really challenging to write about my own specific experience. That were the greatest challenge I found. And because I did not want the themes to be anything that would make people feel angry or make people feel that you must be revengeful and all of that, I really struggled with that, writing about it. And by the end of it, I felt I'm going to go back to that word that I love so much. There was a sense of that purgation of emotion that you call catharsis. That's what catharsis is. So you cry over it, and there's this calming acceptance of everything. And that is what came out of writing the most difficult part of the book. And the themes just flowed from there on.
Oh, you see, this is what makes authors the amazing people they are, how they can dig deep, pull out things, share things that they didn't even intend to share. But in doing the writing, all of a sudden you realize, no, I can't keep this to myself. And this is what I found in these two books. Now, to bring this section to a close so that you can have a book signing and purchase a copy of the book, and those who won a copy of the book, but nobody answered that second question, did they, Vanessa, about the band?
Oh, and no one has answered that. Does anyone remember the name of that band? Then I'll have to let my sister tell us.
You will have 5 minutes
Yes.
to think about it. And in the, pardon? No, it's not a, It's a proper band.
Yes.
Somebody's got their hand up.
No.
No.
That was out of Antigua, wasn't it?
No, Live Wires.
started in
Live
Montserrat.
Wires was Reggie Pond and the Live
It
Wires
started in
band.
Montserrat, yeah, because you had the band house.
That's a
yeah, the
Montserrat
house,
band.
Yeah.
That's why she probably thought of it.
Sorry?
Chalmers.
No, it's not
No.
Chalmers.
No.
No, it's a really strange and interesting name because all of those players, they came out of Stratham, didn't they?
Okay.
Every one of them came out of that village.
Wow.
And it was interesting because they actually taught themselves the music and they actually
Self-taught
made
musicians.
some of the musical instruments
Okay.
themselves.
Right. Barefoot Disco, home of the self-taught, homemade musicians and their instruments. Wow. Now, nobody seems to have the answer, but I'm giving you some time to think about it. In the meantime, I'm going to ask each author to share a passage or a paragraph, something from the book that they want you to hear that is going to make you want to know what happened next. She leave us high and dry like that? So, Vanessa, have you got a piece from Oswald Street that you think is going to make them?
Okay. It is entitled The Unthinkable. I knew things were going wrong when he started to come home late on Friday nights. 1, 2, 3, a pattern was forming. I confronted him about it. He said I was treating him like a child. Well, maybe I was. I told myself I did not need to worry again. He needed a social outlet, but nothing much changed. Even though I was angry, I forced myself to be patient and resorted to prayer. Then, I completely lost it one weekend, and an avalanche followed that incident.
Okay, then, talk about a cliffhanger. An avalanche followed that weekend. So if you want to know what happened in the avalanche, you have to buy the book and read it. Okay? Right. Miss Jo.
Okay. This one is from a chapter which is entitled Careless Moments. And you know the situation where you're traveling to Montserrat or you're traveling from Montserrat and somebody asks you to take a little something for somebody. Okay?
Okay.
After I had returned to live permanently in Montserrat, I continued to visit friends and family in London from time to time. I increasingly received requests to take a little package for others at my destination. After 1 or 2 incidents where the little package turned out to be a box of mangoes or a large, even if relatively light, item that could not fit into my suitcase or handbag, I began to dread these requests. Saying no was a skill I needed to sharpen. When I was about to return to Montserrat after a visit to London in the summer of 2013, I was asked by a friend to take a few items of clothing for his relative in Montserrat. I said that my suitcase would be full, and I offered to send the clothing along with items that I was shipping. That was not possible, he said. They're needed quickly. The evening before I was to travel, while I was out, the items were delivered to my accommodation. A tightly packed travel bag that could not fit into my suitcase, but would have to be carried as additional luggage. On arrival early the next morning at the airline's check-in desk at Victoria in central London, I found that the cost to take the extra bag was prohibitive. So I contacted my friend to come to the check-in desk to collect his bag, as I couldn't take it. I collected my travel documents from the airline clerk, having checked in my suitcase, obtained my boarding pass, and I sat to wait for my friend to arrive to take away his bag. He was quite apologetic, and we had a brief conversation. And after saying goodbye, I gathered my handbags and boarded the non-stop train to London Gatwick Airport. As the Gatwick Express whizzed along, I thought I would fill some of the 30-minute journey by completing the travel forms I needed for arrival into Antigua, my first destination. I reached into my handbag and discovered that my travel documents were missing. Despite frantic searching, there was no passport, no airline ticket, no boarding pass, and no travel form to be found. I distinctly remember being handed the documents at the airline check-in desk at Victoria Station. So where were they? With a deeply sinking realization, it dawned on me with sharp clarity that I had rested the documents on the ledge where I sat while putting down my friend's bag to await his collection. In the moments of relief when he arrived, and after handing him the bag and exchanging a few pleasantries, I had left the area without picking up my travel documents. Now I was at least already 10 minutes into a 30-minute ride on a non-stop train to Gatwick Airport. My flight would begin boarding in less than 2 hours.
I don't know about you all, but me heart a beat fast. Wow! 2 amazing cliffhangers. 2 stories, personal to each author, but it makes you want to know more. So, as we bring this section to a close, there are people that we need to thank. We really do need to thank some people, and Anne-Marie, I know, would love to make some presentations to people in gratitude for being able to be here this evening and just being able to share. Vanessa, I'm sure you want to do the same. So at the moment, I'm going to pass it over to both authors to make presentations to the people that they would love to express their extreme gratitude to. In the meantime, our list of people, it's not excessive, but there are 2 people that we would like to highlight, and one of them just left the stage, that's DeLacy, and the other is Chantel. The other person is Keith Lee and his lovely wife, Coretta, and their gorgeous, helpful daughter. I am always mispronouncing your name. Laquelle. It's such a beautiful name. We have to highlight them and we have to thank them because they made all of this possible. They made it easy. They just made everything happen. And we would like to thank the management and staff for the center for allowing us to have this amazing evening here and their support and their help in doing that. There are people who have been sharing the event left, right, and center, as they say in Montserrat. And I think we can't call all of them by name, but everybody who knows that they have shared the event on social media, because we relied on social media to sort of promote and publicize the event. And look what a beautiful turnout we've had here tonight. Each and every one of you for coming. Each and every one of you, sincere gratitude for coming out tonight, sitting, and I hope enjoying everything that we've done here tonight. Okay? Now, Anne-Marie and Vanessa, the floor is yours to make any presentations that you want.
I am drawing the short straw. cooperate with me. Huh? Yeah. All right. Well, maybe I better just stay here.
Yes, just don't strain yourself.
Yes. Okay. Well, first of all, I would love to say a huge thank you, because we could not have done this without a most supportive team here in Birmingham. And so I would like to, first of all, call DeLacy, Riley, DeLacy, I hope you will enjoy these books, and God bless. Thank you so much for your encouragement, your help. Chantel, I don't know what we would have done without these ladies, honestly. And you know, it was never a problem at all. You're welcome. Never a problem at all with them. They showed up for meetings, and you know, they were just amazing. And of course, the person who I relied on very strongly to coordinate the whole thing, Miss Merle Roach. You don't have to get up. I have some fantastic hosts and hostess, and their young lady. Keith Lee and Coretta, I am just so grateful. The hospitality has been warm and kind, and I know they're probably busy, so Lequel, can I call you? Oh, you're there, Keith Lee? Okay, can you come? Oh, Coretta is behind there too. I am just so grateful for all. I mean, their hospitality has been amazing. Thank you very, very much. And we are going to share in treats from Emerald Caterers. So a plug for them as well. Thank you very much. When we came here this evening, Mrs. Armstrong, Mrs. Ambrose was here ahead of us, helping to set up. And I would like to say a big, big thank you. Okay. So this is really Pastor, you and the whole congregation. I am just so, so, so grateful that you agreed to host this. Thank you very much. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, when Merle wrote to me, sent me a WhatsApp and said, there's a new book called Oswald Street. Have you read it? And I immediately jumped onto Amazon and found it. And what a read. And we said, Merle, we've got to have her on the program. We've got to get Oswald Street, because I read the book, and I tell you, it is an amazing read. So I want to say a very big thank you to Vanessa and John for all their work and for agreeing to come onto the program. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out.
Look, as Vanessa gets her presentation ready, I have to agree 150% with Miss Jo. Ken, John, some people know him as John, some people know him as Ken. He promoted this thing. My wife has a new book and thing, and I clicked on the link, and I went onto Amazon, and I was like, I know this person's face, but I can't place the person. But I read the brief thing of the book, and I was like, no, I need to let Anne-Marie know. Immediately, I messaged her, right? And I'm there waiting for an answer, no answer coming, and I'm like, oh, Lord have mercy. And then about an hour later, I am so sorry, I forgot to answer you. I got caught up because I downloaded the Kindle version immediately and started reading. Immediately, she started reading. So when she says it's a good book, it is a good book. I have read a few snippets, and my plan for tomorrow, nobody call me phone. My feet will be cocked up and I will be delving into it in more depth. Vanessa, make your presentations.
I have this really interesting saying, old age is golden. And it is indeed golden because there are times when my memory just walks out the door. And so I just want to, there are some people who are just really fantastic in helping me in this journey. And I'm thinking at the moment of Keith Lee and Coretta. And Keith Lee, while I know that sometimes men struggle to read, this is especially to share with you, for you and for Coretta. And to say thank you very much, Keith Lee, for all the work you have done. And because you're working so hard, you must have a great wife. So thank you very much, Keith Lee. And Anne-Marie, I met this lady at the Montserrat Secondary School. I think I was around third form, and I was struggling with my biology. And she was just a fantastic teacher. She may not remember me because I was very quiet unless I was getting into trouble with Miss Bazi. Adel Bazi. I'll tell you a secret. I got whipped in secondary school by Miss Bazi. What did I do? I won't tell you what I did. Yeah, I will tell you what I did in her handicraft class because I can't sew. And so I got into trouble. So Anne-Marie, this is just to say thank you very much for being such a support. And I got in trouble with Mrs. Bazi.
I think we all did.
And this lady here, Merle, you are one in a million. Just like that. Vanessa, I just want, John told me about this book, and would you like to join us? And it was like it was God's gift. God just sent it to me, and I said, hey, I would love to do something like this because I have no idea how to go about it. And Merle and Anne-Marie were just supportive at every step of the way. If I were to tell you the things that Anne-Marie and Merle did, we'll be here for a good while longer. So thank you very much, Merle, and God bless you, and Anne-Marie. So thank you very much.
Okay, so as we draw to a close, so that you can get on with having some refreshments, buying a book, getting it signed, it's only left for me to say to you, each and every one of you again, thank you for coming. Travel safely to wherever you go, your destination tonight, whether it's home or to a party or what, or I don't know if there's a barefoot disco in Birmingham, there might be, you never know. But no, seriously, travel safely. Thank you for coming. God bless you all. Oh, yeah, they really want to know the name of the band.
Oh, the name of the band was Allen and the Shooting Stars. Allen and the Shooting Stars. It was so hilarious.
Wow, the Shooting Stars in Stratums. Now, yeah, because there's a part you're going to see in Oswald Street that just took me back to everything. You know, the part between Stratums and Harris's and Farrell's and what? Ooh. Ooh. That's when people, said to me, how you going to deal with England with the fog? I say, hello, you ever see fog when you come down from Farrell's estate? Hey, that's all I have to say. But your words, the way you describe it, it took me right back. Her way of writing, ladies and gentlemen, very, very, as the young lady said, vivid descriptions that paint pictures in front of you. So get your book. Thank you. So, on that note, refreshments are served, the books are ready to be sold and signed, and once again, thank you.
too. All right, folks, you can make your way and be served because we got time limit to get out of here. All right, so if you can make your way, get something to eat and relax. Have yourself a drink while you mingle. Thank you.